pretty tight. Just to make sure, I'm going to run a straight block across it once I pull this off. But that looks really, really good. The next thing I'm going to do is take off the extra wood off of this thing. I've got a lot of excess wood. You can see how much wood is around the edges of this pad. I got way more than I need. So I'm going to work it from the end to the wrist. I'm going to leave this square so I can hold this in the vise while I work this down, and then I'll flip it around and do the other side, or the other end. Now, after years of trying with everything known to man this side of a chainsaw to remove wood, I have figured out the best thing to do this with is a bandsaw. I can take off 90% of it with a bandsaw in a few minutes. So what I do is establish my width here at the wrist, and then I'll go from that to that and take off the excess. And then I'll come down and work it with a grinder and a rasp and file and everything else. It really helps to have a pattern. I don't always. So what I'm doing is transferring some marks. I'm coming in just at the thinnest part right here, and it happens to be right forward of this dip. It's just barely forward of that dip, and that's the thinnest part right up here on this stock, which happens to be about right there. Now, I'm just guessing at the center of that, going off my center line. I'm going to see if that's equidistant, and it is. The next thinnest part is right there, and that's right at the trigger. If you remember when I bandsawed this out, I left this little bump. There's a little bump right there. Of course, I don't need that anymore, but that's where I'm measuring the thickness. I've got my line from the edge of this pad, which is up here, down to that thin place and back out here to that little bit thicker place. And I'm going to put me some reference marks right there. Please excuse the noise. This shop has a tin roof and we're getting a monsoon. I'm going to stay away from those marks because these edges right here are convex. They stick out in the middle. It's not a straight line from there to here. It bows out a little bit. So these marks are just for reference, but I'm going to use them and slice off a bunch of this. Now after this, where the trigger goes, this thing flares back out. See, this flares out to almost full width right there. Now I've got a flat surface on top of this and on top of this, and so I'm going to put this down on my bandsaw bed, my table, and then I'm going to do this pruning here. You can see how much wood I removed with that bandsaw. Well, this is the view that I'm going to be seeing for the next few hours. I left my center line there. I will refer to that constantly as I'm shaping. I won't take that off until I'm committed that I know everything's good. Next thing I'm going to do, and this camera is going to be over there, so you won't be able to see it like you can from right here, but the next thing I'm going to do is take this wrist down and get it the right dimension, and then I'm going to connect that dot to this dot on top, bottom, and then the sides. I always start with the top, and then the bottom, and then the both sides. Connect the dots here, here, here to here. And when you do it by dot to dot method like that, if you get this right and you know it's right, and you get this right and you know it's right, pretty soon you start eliminating all the places it can be wrong, and pretty soon you end up with a gun stock and you say, okay, all I did was just paint by numbers, you know, connect the dots. Well, it's just that simple and just that hard. If you get the dots right, the rest of it works itself out. But seeing it happen from over there, looking at it from the side, you don't see what I just showed you from the straight on. One other thing I didn't mention just a second ago is this light right here, is going to be perched right in the middle of this thing, straight up. And that light throws shadows that come across and wash down this side and this side, and it makes it really easy to see symmetry or to detect asymmetry. What I just did, well, you didn't see it. I had to take off part of my center line. I had to remove, because I had to take some of this wood down. This was about 1/8 of an inch too high right here. And so I lost my center line. So what I did, I put a piece of tape back here and I marked my center line on my tape. And now that I've got this wood removed, I can put my line back. You might have figured out by now I'm a little obsessive about that line. This guy is your friend. This is what makes things not just smooth, but it makes them fair. Fair means a smooth transition from this shape to this shape. Fair is an old boat building term turned into an aeronautical term. When a boat hull goes from bow to stern and it's smooth through the water, it's called being fair. On an airplane, between the fuselage and the wing, there's a thing that transitions, makes the wind go around it smoothly. It's called a fairing. They have fairings on race cars. So this is for fairness. This smooths out all the bumps between the dots. This is your dot connector. I have these, and this is 50 grit. I have 80 and 100 and 120. This is used for shaping. When you get much finer than this, it's used for smoothing. This is more of a shaping tool than it is a sanding tool. if your shoulders are shot, this is tough. And if they're not shot, this will do it.